Okay. Well, that was a morning. That was a minute.
And I haven't even finished my coffee.
I know, me neither. And I need it. I need extra today. I'm feeling it. I don't know. I don't know what I feel like. You know, what's weird is that, so we recorded some episodes last week. So it's just been a week, but I feel like it's been a month. Do you feel that at all? I feel
Right.
like a really long period of time has gone by
Yeah.
between the
Yeah.
thing. I don't know why, but it feels weird.
It does feel weird. Maybe we should do it more often.
Maybe. I mean, I just, you know how sometimes time is such a weird thing. It just like it goes by really quickly or it goes by really slowly. Just, I guess,
Yeah.
I don't know. I just feel like it's weird. I love your shirt, by the way. I love that shirt.
I am roughly today.
You are.
I'm feeling quite feminine today.
We are always feminine. You're
Oh,
always like lovely
well.
and feminine. And you are beautiful.
Oh, that's so sweet. That's always the
Yes.
goal. And I never know whether I'm achieving it or not, but that's how I like to, portray myself to the world. That's who I am. So
that's who you are.
So I like that.
I
And
almost
you're always so, vibrant and colorful.
Except today. I don't feel it today. I almost wore my shirt though that has the same like ruffly front. It's just long sleeves, and we would have been twins. I almost wore that, and I don't know.
Would have that been wild?
I know. It's not planned. Not planned because we haven't really talked that much this week. Actually, just texted a little bit, but yeah.
I didn't have any breakdowns this week. So it's pretty cool.
That's good. That's a great week.
You know how you get those 10 o'clock calls and I'm like, something's happening, okay, something's happening.
Yeah.
And I just need to let it all out, like something's happening, but they have that this week. So that's pretty cool.
That's awesome. That's really good.
Yeah. It's been a pretty good week. I'm learning to go with the flow. I'm learning to notice that there is a flow, and I'm learning to just go with it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Instead of reacting all the time. Now I'm saying, okay, life is happening.
Yeah. As it often does.
So I'm just going to go with the flow, and you feel so much better.
Yes.
I mean, really, it feels so much better to not try and control everything that's happening around you.
You know why? Because we can't. We can't control it. I mean, it's like an illusion that we give ourselves.
60 years in, now. Now.
I know.
Yeah. My gosh. Boy,
That's
it's
crazy.
amazing. But it's amazing when you just let it all go. And something's happening. Even if it's something that you don't like, it's happening. Okay, I recognize that it's happening.
Right.
And you either let it affect you or you don't. And I just decided not to let things affect me. I'm just gonna roll with what life is doing right now.
Right.
For me.
I think that's the way to go. I think that's a big part of Buddhism is the resistance and attachment, and how we cause ourselves so much suffering by being attached to an idea or a thing, but that something has to happen. Life is not good unless things happen in this exact specific certain way. And then our resistance, so just let it go and let it unfold. And
I think I like that. There's less stress.
Yeah.
Much less stress. Much less stress.
This is true. I mean, we made it through getting today's episode started, and with all the the background stuff. I mean, but we didn't, there was a time in my life I probably would have just like been a rageaholic about it, and like not for your stuff, the stuff that was happening on my end, and just like, let's just forget it for today. We'll try it again, and we didn't. Neither one of us lost our cool or anything, We just kind of
no. it
Kept
was
at it.
like, so what I found in the moment that it was happening, and for everyone who's listening to us, we had some audio issues. I couldn't hear her. And so the problem was on my end. But in the moment, the first thing I thought was, I'm not going to give up. That was the first thing I thought,
Hmm.
because, and I said, well, I'm going to figure this out. I'm not going to give up. We're going to figure this out. And I focused on figuring it out. Do you know what I mean? That's where
Hmm.
my full attention went, to figuring it out.
Right.
And there was no time for, why is this happening? What's, there was no time for any of that. It was just
Right. Figure it
figure it
out.
out.
Yeah.
And we did.
We
We
did.
figured it out. You
And
were
then
you were on the end with your phone with the Google.
troubleshooting Zoom. What happens? Yeah. You know what though? I think
And
what's
I'm
so,
on this end.
yeah, doing that. But I think what's so funny is when all else fails, power down and start over. And then it worked, it's so funny. Just like I have to
Yes.
remember, start with that first from now on.
Power
I tell
down,
myself, yeah.
power down and start over, which is what you did. And that solved the problem.
That's probably not
Uh-oh.
a bad, well, it's probably not a bad philosophy in life too.
That's a good metaphor, right?
Yeah.
Power down and start over.
If there is that stress, that
Wow.
anxiety, that resistance in a situation,
Mhm.
then like how you always say, I'm breathing, power down, like walk away from it, take a breath.
Yeah.
Don't think about it for if you can, for a day or whatever, just whatever, however long you have that you can put it down for a second, take a breath, shut it
Yeah.
down and start over, come back new to the beginning and start, power down and start over.
Yeah.
So
Oh my
things.
goodness. Isn't
Yeah.
life wonderful?
It is wonderful. I've had a weird week, and I wonder if like maybe
Really?
that's also why it feels like such a long time period has occurred between just last Monday and today, because
Uh-huh. Yeah.
when you're going through things, it does seem to like make time go slower sometimes when you're
Yeah.
going through, I wouldn't say stress, but what I've noticed. So how I'll talk about like emotions, and eventually when I get to my next part of my program, I am doing the emotional regulation. But the main key to that is that emotions are great. They're like the check engine light in our cars. They're great
Right.
indicators as to what is going on. And I don't know
Right.
about you, but for me, for most of my life, any type of uncomfortable emotion that I was feeling, I immediately moved to distract myself from it in so many different ways
Mm.
with so many different things. I couldn't stand that uncomfortableness. I didn't know.
Right.
Um, and so we were talking maybe a couple of weeks ago, and we were both saying how happy we were. Do you remember that? Like,
Yeah.
oh my gosh, you're just like on cloud
Yeah.
nine and so happy. And at that time,
Yeah.
I couldn't. I was like, I don't know why, because nothing externally in my life has changed. There's nothing that, I'm not in a new relationship. I haven't bought a new house or a new car, or, I haven't, there was nothing new. It just like, why am I
Right.
so happy? And, I thought about it, but I just went on and enjoyed the moment.
Right.
This week, this whole week, I've like been up and down, like a feeling of sadness and just not depression,
Oh.
but just, yeah, just like sadness and just feeling down, kind of the blues or whatever. And again, once again, nothing in my life externally has changed. So I'm like, okay, I'm not going
That
to
is interesting.
not going to distract myself like I have in the past from an uncomfortable. I don't like it. I don't like to feel that way and not know why that's happening. So I'm like, all right, I'm going to stop and do some data collection on myself. I want to figure this out. What
Right.
is causing those feelings of elation and then the feelings of sadness? It must be something
Mhm.
internal, in other words, because externally, nothing has changed. Nothing is changing. And I kind of, did data collection on it and thought about it and
Mhm.
contemplated it. And I
Mhm.
realized, I was like, okay, what was going on then internally? What was going on when I was feeling so happy? And it was that I was actively working on, we were working on this on the podcast. I think we was when we were creating it, and then my business and my program, I was actively working on that. Um, and it just made me happy because, and this is the key, when we have those, when nothing has changed externally, but we're having those feelings of joy, we are walking in our authentic self. We are pursuing, though that's an indicator when we feel that joy and it's nothing
Yeah.
external that's causing that. Those should be signs
Yeah.
to people that, this is what I'm meant to do here. This is authentically what I'm meant to do. This past week,
Okay.
I've just been so busy with projects and working in my garden, and I got all the plant situation
Yeah.
down. Now I was cleaning my patio and wiping down the furniture and just all of this other stuff. And it's kind of taken
Yeah.
me away from working on my
Mhm.
program, which I love
Okay.
doing. And I'm like, oh, so my epiphany was, if you think about like authenticity on a scale, and like my
Mhm.
true authentic self is here, and then the least authentic is over here.
Right.
The further I get away from her,
Oh.
the more those sad
Oh.
feelings come in. It's like a scale. The sad feelings come in, the
Oh
whatever.
my
The
goodness.
closer I get to her, that more joy comes in, and nothing has changed externally. That's amazing.
Oh wow.
So yeah, so I'm like, okay.
When you first started talking at first, I was thinking, my first thought was, isn't that a part of being human? Those ebbs and flows.
Hmm.
The sadness comes and then the joy comes. And I guess you just let it happen and let it and release it, let it go, let it flow through.
Right.
Right. That
Hmm.
was the first thought I had when you
Okay.
said that, because I thought, damn, isn't that, can I say damn? I just said it
Sure.
anyway.
You can, it's our podcast. You feel free. Yeah.
Okay. I
Do
was
we need to
thinking,
put an
man,
explicit warning on the thing? No, not for damn.
no.
Okay.
I was thinking, man, that was such a human experience.
Hmm.
It's human to have that.
Hmm.
That's just something that happens all the, it happens.
Right. This
And
is true.
then I'm thinking, okay, as you're going along, I'm thinking, we, because I've been, oh my goodness, I've been working, Sweet Flaneur is coming together so beautifully. I've had so many, there's so much I want to do for women. Oh
Hmm.
my goodness. And I'm hoping that, I'm building a life around being an example for women on how to slow down and
Yeah.
be easy. And, we just, that's part of it. When you have a problem, just flow with it.
Hmm.
I'm learning to do that. And so when I am working
Hmm.
on this stuff for Sweet Flaneur,
Hmm.
it's I'm so happy when I'm doing that.
Yeah.
It's just so, maybe the key to happiness is I guess it's a saying that's been around for a while, do what you love.
Yeah. Yes.
Just do what you love.
Yeah.
Just do all the things that you love. If you love gardening, do that.
Hmm.
If you love if you love walking, do that.
Right. Yeah.
If you love baking, do that. Do the things that you love, more of them, because I
Yes.
don't think that we can spend our time in that stuff. Maybe some people can, you
Hmm.
know, but if time is getting away from you when you're doing something and you're feeling good, that's something you love. That's your passion. Just do that.
That's right.
Do
And
more of
yeah,
that
do more of that.
every day.
And be mindful about it. I mean, stop and do check-ins
Mm.
with those emotions. Like, wow, I'm I'm really happy. I really enjoy this. Okay, make a note of that, write it down if you have to, and then do more of it. I think that's maybe part of
Yeah.
the problem is we, and it's for so many reasons in our society, we often do things, we're not very mindful about things, the things that cause us joy or the things, and then the things that cause us sadness or anxiety, we don't want to process that. And like you said,
Right.
feel them and then eventually let them go. We distract ourselves and kind of push it down or hide it down or whatever, but it doesn't go, they never go away. But they're great indicators. They're that check engine light. So, once
Yeah.
that you want to get your car into the shop when that light comes on as soon as possible. And so the same thing with those emotions. Yeah.
I figured out that I have a pattern
Hmm.
or a habit. And so maybe other people have the same thing, but there are days where I will get up, go through my day, and I am just feeling, and I'm spinning. I'm spinning, spinning, spinning. It feels like nothing is going right. I feel, sad, or I feel like I'm not doing anything right. And sometimes I will spin the entire day. And then I'll spend the day trying to figure out how to stop spinning, you know?
Hmm.
But what happens is I spin the whole day and then I come to some sort of, conclusion, and I've calmed myself down. When I go to sleep and I get up the next day, it's gone. It's like the cloud is gone.
Hmm.
It's like I wake up feeling better.
Right.
And maybe I don't know whether it's a habit of spinning and then the next day feeling better, but I, it seems like that's like a recurring process for me. That's a
Hmm.
recurring thing that I go through, where it's cloudy one day and it's sunny the next day.
Right.
All is well the next day. And I guess I don't know whether that's I'm aware of it now.
Hmm.
Didn't know I did that before, but I wonder if I should just think of that as something that's a part of me and my normal spin, cloudy
Hmm.
and then sunshine.
I don't
you know,
know. I
I
mean,
don't know.
okay. I
I don't
know.
know whether anyone else experiences that or not, but I'm telling you, I will go through days where I'm just spinning in my head and just spinning.
Hmm.
And then the next day I get up and I'm not spinning. I'm happy. The sun's out. All is well with my world.
Yeah. And I know it's
And
not
maybe it's some
realistic.
sort of a release. I don't know. Maybe it's a release for me. I don't know. I don't know.
I mean, I know it's not possible to
I
be
have
like
to figure that out.
happy all the time, 100% of the
Yeah.
time. But
Yeah.
if the spinning is not pleasant to you, then
Mhm.
I think that it's something that you can get rid of. In other words, and if you can
Oh,
identify what's causing that, if it's not pleasant, if it causes you a lot of stress and anxiety, I would say
okay.
it's not something um, that you want to keep in your life. It's probably something that you learned in
Well,
childhood,
I don't want to deny. I don't want
Yeah.
to deny it though. I don't want what I want is for it to do what it's going to do and then
Hmm.
go away. Do what you're
Yeah.
going to do and then go
Mhm.
away, because I don't want to hold it in or do any of that. I don't want any of that energy trapped. I want
Yeah.
it
Oh,
to just
yes.
release.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking, if I just let it spin, let it do what it's going to do.
Hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then maybe that next day is me having released whatever it was that needed to come up and flow out.
Right.
Talking a lot about flow today, aren't we?
Yeah. To go,
Yeah.
go with the
But
flow.
that's what it seems like is happening. There's a lot of things bubbling up,
Hmm.
and you just let it come up and release it, and you're good.
So I think because of my psychology background, my thing is that
Mhm.
if it's something that's reoccurring, like continues to happen, then
Mhm.
the key is when you're absolutely right about feeling it and then letting it go. But I feel like there's a step in there in between that where you're like, okay, what is this about? Where we become like
Yeah.
scientists, or
Yeah.
in data collection. Okay,
Yeah.
what is this
Yeah.
about? Because it's unpleasant for you
Right.
to do the
Yeah.
spinning.
It really is.
Yeah.
It really is. It's unpleasant. And I have to wonder, are we supposed to be happy, happy all the time? Or is it okay to feel unpleasant sometimes? Or how long should unpleasant stay?
Right. That's true. I mean, feelings, they can be a mess. I don't think there are any bad feelings, any bad emotions. Again, they're all indicators. I won't say they're neutral because some make us feel good and some make us feel bad. But I think, I don't know about like spinning. I don't know if you mean the same thing, but things like going on a roller coaster, ups and downs and ups and downs and ups and downs.
Mhm.
I don't think that's, I think we can be kind of even keel, go along,
Yeah.
calm and
Uh-huh.
peaceful and ease
Mhm.
and things will happen outside, situations will happen outside, but you can still, and I know people like this who they still remain calm. Now, kind
Oh,
of
wow.
going back to this morning and what, getting ready for the podcast and all of that.
Yeah.
We just
Yeah.
remained calm through the whole
Mhm.
way. But like I said, there was one
Yeah.
time in my life when I would do ups and downs and ups and downs before I
Right.
had, several years of counseling, but I would rage. That would have set me off. That would have because I
Really?
am like such a perfectionist, believe it or not,
Okay.
uh,
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
any little thing and would that if it didn't go
Wow.
perfectly right, it would just set me off and set me off into a rage. Now I wouldn't give up, I would come back to it, but I might kick things around or like break my computer or something like that, seriously, if I got angry. But a lot of
You
that
know,
was
yeah,
learned behavior that
being
I had to
calm,
unlearn.
being calm for me is a defense mechanism.
Okay, that's
Uh,
interesting to me, how so?
yeah, because growing up, there was chaos all around me. And so I just learned to be calm through chaos.
Hmm.
That's the defense mechanism. I kind of started that when I was younger, you know, something's happening. Okay. It's like, it's like a cat that just is like, you're just calm. I
Hmm.
learned that when I was, I learned that when I was little. Chaos all around me all the
I
time.
don't know if that's I think that's
You don't
actually
think
a
it's a
really,
defense?
I think that's a very positive thing. Now,
Yeah.
if
Okay.
did what come with that though is that you weren't
Hmm.
allowed to express any like fear or anxiety that you were having about what was
Oh,
going on
that
around
too.
you,
Oh, yeah, that.
that
Yeah.
is, yeah, not a healthy
You
thing,
know, your children can be seen but not
yeah,
heard.
yeah,
I grew up in that era.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
But
but the fact that you were able to remain calm, but not to the point, but I mean, we can do it with any behavior. Not to the
Mhm.
point where like if being calm means, okay, I don't get to express my feelings about the situation or my opinions or whatever, then
Right.
yeah, then it's moved
You know,
into
I
like the
really love
unhealthy.
that part. I really love that part about myself, my calmness.
Hmm.
I really love that about myself. So let's talk about what I love about
Yeah, right.
myself. But yeah, that's one thing I do. I yeah,
Yeah,
it's freeing to be calm.
it is. Yeah. I mean, yeah, I'd much rather be calm than rage, be full of anger and
So
not have feelings.
in talking about the spinning that I was just talking about and then the calmness. So maybe when I told you earlier about that quote about choices.
Hmm.
Oh, let me find that quote. Let me find that quote. Find the quote.
Yes, give credit and we'll put it
Oh my
in the
gosh,
show notes and
absolutely.
on YouTube. We'll put a copy of it in there with the
Oh, there
person.
she is. So it's Iyanla Van Zant. All
Oh
right.
yeah,
I
love
saw
her.
this. Oh my goodness.
Love her.
I can't. She's brilliant. I think she's just brilliant. She can really quickly just come up with stuff
Mm-hmm.
that just makes you go, hmm. So anyway, it says, when you see that what you're doing, what you have chosen is not working, make another choice. Choice simply means that you recognize the conflict, chaos, or pain the first choice has created. You choose to eliminate that experience by making another choice. When something is over, it is over. Wash your hands and move on. So that hit me when I read that,
Mm-hmm.
because isn't that something we do every single day? Make choices. That's all we do. Life
That's
is
all we
choice,
do.
choice,
That's
choice.
right.
That's
That's right.
all we do is make a choice. You make a choice to do this, you make a choice to do that. And so what I've started, okay, so all right, for what I've started doing is saying to myself before I make a decision or a choice is this going to put me in the direction that I want to go in?
Mm-hmm.
Is this going to make me feel good? Or is it going to make me not feel good? Is it going in the direction I want it to go in? So that's the first thing I've started doing.
Mm-hmm.
But when I saw that, when I read that about choice, do you know how freeing that is to make another choice?
Right.
I mean, it's so simple. It's
It
just so
is.
simple.
It is.
You go to Starbucks, you pick a coffee, and you don't like it. You have you have the right to make a choice and say, "Hey, look, I don't like this. Here, can you make me that one instead?
Mm-hmm.
Give it back."
And they're happy to do
We're
it. They're happy to do
I
it.
know.
Yeah.
All
Yeah.
day, every day, we can make choices.
Yeah. That's
And
true.
if the
Yeah.
choice we make, we don't like, make another one. Is that not the most freeing thing ever?
It is. And we have that power. I mean, we have, but you know what? Just thinking of when you were saying that, I was
Mhm.
like, okay, but if we don't know who we truly are, we're
Yes.
not going to be able to do that, because we're
Yes.
oftentimes our choices, really what we're doing, we're making choices based on what others want us to do or what we think others want us to do.
You know what? I think it's a gateway to finding out who you are.
Mm-hmm.
Choice after choice after choice. I
Yeah.
like this. I don't like that. I like this. I don't like that.
Yeah.
What a what a great way to find out who you are,
Yeah.
by making choices.
And
You don't like that? Make another choice.
some people were able to do that, starting off in life, in childhood and all of that. But if you came from
Yeah.
an environment where it was very controlled and you didn't have, like you were, talking about
Yeah.
yours, and I can say the same about mine. Yeah, you don't
Yeah.
get that option. Maybe that's why life has become so fun for both of us at this later stage, because we're
I
like
just had an
kids
epiphany.
in a candy store choosing what's that.
I just had an epiphany. Maybe we can do that with our thoughts.
Oh, absolutely. That's actually where it needs to start. That's
Another choice.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, yeah. We
I'm
can
making
always
another
choose.
choice.
Can always choose.
Okay, I'm thinking this now, but I am choosing to think something else
Hmm.
and make that
Always,
a habit.
always.
Oh
Yeah, that
my
just goes
goodness.
back to my favorite quote, that Cahill Gibran quote about we choose our joys and sorrows long before we experience
Yeah.
them. We are always,
Yeah.
yeah, always, always, always making choices.
Oh my
Yeah,
goodness. I love
we
it.
are.
I so love it. We are free to choose. We are free to choose the life we want.
Hmm.
We are free to choose the coffee we want.
Yes.
We are free to choose everything.
And
We are
powerful
free to
enough to
choose.
create that life too. We're free to choose it, and we're powerful enough to create it. We are such,
Exactly.
yeah, powerful
Oh
beings.
my gosh. Isn't that wonderful to know that?
Hmm. Yeah.
Mm, yeah.
Now a component of that is we have to have the energy, the vibration, right? The energy to be able to
Yeah.
do that. It takes a lot of mental
Oh gosh.
energy and physical energy. And yeah, so we have to, that's an important component about it,
Yeah.
part of it.
But can it be something that is habitual? I guess if you keep doing it and keep doing it, it becomes ingrained in you after a
Yeah,
while.
yeah, you just create that neural pathway. If you're talking about like
Yeah.
physically the way the brain works, yeah,
Yeah.
you just create that
Yeah.
neural pathway, and eventually, kind of like driving, it just becomes automatic. Have you ever driven
Yeah.
somewhere, and you've
Yeah.
driven that route so often, you're not even paying attention anymore. You're just like
I
A
know.
to Z. And yeah, but we can do that
Yeah.
with anything in our lives. We can make it that automatic to where it just happens.
Hmm.
Yeah, it is. It does take a lot of
Ah,
work though. And I think that's might be one thing that keeps us and keeps people from shying away is one is like, okay, am I really that powerful? So questioning that, can I really create the life that I want? Do I have that power? But then the
right.
other one is it takes a lot of mental energy initially to like rein in those thoughts and control them and choose to choose what you want to think. And it
Absolutely.
takes
It
there is a
does.
lot of work, a lot of upfront mental work, but
Yeah.
eventually it does, like you just said, you can make it run automatically eventually.
Yeah.
It's worth it. It's worth it
Oh my
to put in that
goodness.
work, but I don't always feel like it either. I mean, like right now, if my energy is so low, I don't know if y'all can tell that today, but to be honest,
Really?
oh, I didn't even want to do the podcast today. I didn't even want to do it today. I'm not,
Really?
I'm not like sad or depressed or anything. I'm just like, okay, this is a 4 cup of coffee day for me. Normally I have 3, but mhm,
Really? That's
yeah,
so interesting.
yeah.
I didn't know.
Oh, I'm good at faking it then. No, it's not, I'm not faking it. I can tell,
Yeah.
like for me, this isn't, I'm low energy today. And you know what? That's okay. That's okay.
Yeah. Wow.
I make the choice to keep going, to keep doing it.
You're doing it
And
anyway.
yeah,
That's awesome.
yeah, I can drink more water, make sure I get all my vitamins in. I can move, do some exercise. I can do things to
Yeah.
increase that
Sit in your
energy. Some
beautiful
things.
garden. Hmm.
So, but
That
yeah,
is so interesting.
choice. Okay,
Choice.
so let's talk about what is, and we can ask our listeners the same thing. So for
Mhm.
the coming week, or since we're doing like episodes every 2 weeks right now, probably go to once
Yeah.
a week, eventually,
Yeah.
maybe soon. So for the next 2 weeks, what's a choice that you intend? What's an intention, like a choice that you can make for yourself for the next 2
Mm.
weeks that you want to, I don't know.
So for me, just to keep track of what's going on in my head,
Hmm.
because you have to kind of pay attention.
Yeah, yeah.
And if I'm thinking things that I don't want to be thinking, then choose another thought. So that I'm
There
going to
you
work
go.
on that.
There you go.
That's my because now that I just find it so freeing, the whole
Hmm.
choice thing. Yeah, and I don't want to get all political or anything, but we are so fortunate where we live. Yeah, we're
Hmm.
just so fortunate and we're able to choose. And some people are not able to
True.
choose.
Yeah, that's true.
So I feel very fortunate about that.
Hmm.
And so
But we can all, no matter where we live in the world, we can
just
choose
choose in our
this.
head, choose in our head.
Then
Yeah.
this is our power. This is our power.
Yeah. Yeah, I get yeah. Yeah.
Nobody can
That's what
control that
creates.
if we don't, if
Yeah,
unless we
that's
let
true.
them, and sometimes we let them.
That's
But
true.
yeah,
But some people don't know that they do have choices.
this is true. I
Yeah.
think it's been I don't want to get all conspiracy theory, like, but I think that that's Sometimes that's purposeful on a population
Mm,
where they're taught,
yeah.
they're to believe that, but that's not true.
Yeah.
That's absolutely not
Yeah.
true. We may
Yeah.
not like the choices we have, but we always have a choice. There is always a choice to do or to not to do, and say, well, if I don't
Yeah.
do, then these things will happen. Okay, yes, that's true. But you
Yeah.
still, we always have a choice. We always have a choice. And
Yeah.
there's so much
Yeah.
power. I don't know about you, but when I make that choice, even if I don't like the consequences, but I know it's
Hmm.
the best choice for me, it empowers
Yeah.
me. I'm like, well, I did
Oh,
that. I
yeah.
made that choice. Nobody else made that for me. And I'll deal with the consequences. You find that power.
Here's something, another epiphany. um, when we look around our lives
Hmm.
and you see what's around you, your home decor, your car, you can say to yourself, I chose that. I did
Yes,
that.
that's
I made
absolutely
every
right.
choice, every decision, everything was me.
Hmm.
I did that. So everything in your life is a choice.
It is. And it's
Everything's a
all a
choice.
reflection of our self-image. It's everything in our lives is a
Oh
reflection of
gosh,
what we think
that's
about
right.
ourselves and who we think we are
Yeah.
and all of that, good, bad, and ugly. It's all, but they're great clues. I mean, they're great. It's a great way to take data collection on ourselves, look at that. Like,
Yeah.
why is that here? Okay, well,
Right.
get rid of
Yeah.
that. I don't want that. Or yeah.
Just make another choice.
That's right. Make another try. Oh, I
Right.
love that. I want to add more. I choose to add more of that
Yeah.
into my home or my
Right.
environment. Yeah.
Oh
Even,
my goodness.
oh my God. Okay. So remember last week when
What?
we went out to lunch after we did the
Uh-huh.
podcast and we tried to go to our
Yes.
favorite place or their
And
patio
they
was
were
just so
closed.
beautiful and they were closed on Mondays.
Yeah.
So we had to
Yeah.
make some choices, didn't we?
We
And
did.
we were looking around. We went to one place
Yeah.
and we walked
Yeah.
in and we're like, oh, not feeling it at all.
No, this
Because we
is not
wanted
it.
somewhere like beautiful and just
Yeah.
relaxing.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we had to make some choices
We
about
did.
where we were going. I hear your birds. I think it's you. And is it my end? No, I think it's your end. So sweet.
Oh, birds. We love
Oh,
birds.
springtime. I love spring.
Spring. Love that.
Um,
Yes. And
but
so
yeah.
the choice that we made, even within that choice, we made some choices.
Yes, that's right. Choices. But we could have
Yes.
like the first place we went, we could have just
Yeah.
said, we'll sit there, we'll take it or whatever.
Yes.
But
Yeah.
didn't reflect who we are, right? And what we were
Exactly.
feeling and all of that. Yeah. So
Right.
imagine if we had
Exactly.
stayed there and if we had just made the choice
How
to,
would we have felt? Settled. If we had made the choice to settle with or go with what we weren't feeling.
yes, on
You
those
know?
tiny little patio tables with all of the ants around. I mean, we would
Yeah.
have been miserable. We would have been
It
miserable.
wouldn't have been
So,
good. It
no,
wouldn't have been good.
no. So
But
yeah.
at this point, I think with where we're going, we are like not settling anymore for
Mm-mm.
anything, right?
Right.
Like we are like, this is what we want.
Right.
This is how we want to feel. And
Yeah,
this is the way it's going to be.
that's right. And it took us a minute. I mean, we had to persist. We had to keep going. It took probably about an hour, right? From the time we met
Yeah.
at the place that was
Yeah.
closed on
Yeah.
Mondays. We need to have a talk with them about
Yeah.
that. How dare you?
Exactly.
No. And then yeah, till to the end goal, till we finally found a place. And even that, I mean, it was nice and lovely, but it wasn't completely
Yeah.
exactly what we wanted, but
Yeah. Yeah.
we had to make a choice.
Yeah.
At that point. It was getting
Yeah.
late. So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that poor little
You
dog.
did it.
That
okay.
dog sitting with that man eating
Oh,
that pizza
yeah.
next to us and just staring at that man like salivating, and he didn't give
Suffering.
him one bite.
Suffering.
One bite, man. He didn't
The
even do
dog was
that. No.
suffering.
I
You
know.
should not eat in front of a dog because they
No.
just are like, please.
And he was so good.
Please.
The dog was just so good. He just sat, just
Yeah.
didn't bark.
He's
He
a
just
good
sat
dog.
still, just waiting and hoping that the man
Yeah.
would choose to give him a
Yeah.
piece of his pizza.
Did you
Man.
did you see Sweet Flaneur Note to Self?
Okay, so actually was going to ask you about that. You sent me the message through Instagram on that.
I sent you
I
the
didn't
link.
know if somebody had hacked you. So I was going to ask you after we did the
Mhm.
podcast, if somebody hacked you or okay, that's cool. I
No.
like that concept.
Oh, listen. So the thoughts, the little epiphanies I have is
Hmm.
what I write down and I
Okay.
send out.
I
Note to
like it.
self. And I do that to myself all the time. Okay, note to self. Get this. Note to self. Do that. So I thought, well, okay, I'm
Yeah.
just gonna note to self. I
I like it.
love it. I
I did
felt
like that
so good
concept.
doing
Yeah.
that. It felt
Yeah.
so good doing that, you
Yeah.
know.
All right. Well, I'll accept the request now that I know it's really you.
Okay, yes, it is me. So now I
Thank you.
officially have 3 Instagram
Oh my
accounts.
God. I don't know how you keep up with it. Oh my
Keeping up with
goodness.
all of it,
Yeah.
and plus little epiphanies everywhere. So I have 4 Instagram accounts I'm keeping up with. It's so much
That's a
fun.
lot.
I love it. I love
Okay,
sharing what
that's
I
good.
know. Oh
That's
my
good.
goodness. I mean, I share things about wine pairing and French wine pairing and how to flaneur your life, you know.
Hmm.
It's just so it's so me.
Yeah. Well, I might get you to keep up with some of mine then. I'm not a huge fan of keeping
Okay.
up with social media.
Oh my
That's not
goodness.
but I
It's the
do it.
way it's a window to the world.
It is. I'm more like, uh, so I'm working on the online course right now putting
Mhm.
my program into to an online course. And
Right.
I'm done with research mode. I think I have figured out the platform I
Okay.
want to use, but I'm also going to do
Oh,
a
good.
website and run it on my website because I've learned how to do
Okay.
that. And I've really developed a lot of skill sets this week, actually, how to edit
Yeah.
audio and video and how to upload and download and convert things that,
Well, no wonder you're feeling the way you're feeling. You're drained.
but I mean, but they're great skills to learn. And a 15-year
Yeah.
old could do it I laugh when I'm learning because I'm like, oh my God, a young person could get this in like 10 seconds. I know. And here it's taking me
Right.
2 hours. Um,
That's
but
okay.
anyway, so for that, so now I've begun to go into creation mode for the online
Oh,
course. And
okay.
and now I see like as I'm figuring out the format and oh my God, I learned how to do a picture in picture video on Canva. I love Canva. I had no idea. I've never used them for video before.
Picture in a picture?
Yes. So like you could have your slide up and then your
Yeah.
little picture. Well, you could do half and half or, a picture of you little talking, still talking to your students.
What?
Yeah. I emailed it to myself because I'll email it to you, the link to the video. It's a great
Okay.
video, but on
All
how to,
right.
I had no idea. And so anyway, I'm
Wow.
figuring all this out. So now I'm in creation mode. And this is the same thing that happened when I did my the journal, the happiness journal. And it's the same thing that
Yeah.
happened with the first part of my
My back.
the program about reprogramming the self-image. It just starts to
Uh-huh.
become like it takes on a life of its own. So it's like this little ball and I start to create and then it just keeps growing and growing.
Yes.
And that's what's happening right now. I've
Right.
just like stepped into that mode. That's
Mhm.
where like how you love to do the social media and do the outreach and all of that. Mine is actually in the process of creating. So I love that. So I feel like
Yeah.
when I know I need to post on some of my social media or whatever, I'm like, oh, I don't want to like go stop from here, be taken away. I feel like it's taking me away. So
Right.
I might
Okay.
hire you
Oh my
to do my
goodness.
social media for me.
I I absolutely love it. It's my way of sharing with the world,
Hmm.
you know. I think that especially for women, moms, it's so important to just breathe and slow down,
Hmm.
you
And
know.
wine is a very good uh, tool to help you do that. Your wine, the manual, that like awesome manual that I don't know what you call it, a
Mhm.
manual or
The
workbook
wine
or
pairing
things.
manual, the French wine
Yes,
pairing,
that would
French wine
make
pairing
an
for everyday foods.
amazing online course. And I could see you
I'm
like
gonna think about
with the
putting that into
picture
a
in
course.
picture with you having the glass of wine while you're talking about the regions
I
and how wine
know.
is a place
Yeah.
and all of that. Yeah,
Oh my
that would make
goodness.
an amazing online course, I think.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that.
And
So
you already have a
you'll have to let me
website.
know what platform.
Yeah.
Yes,
You could
yes.
do it with that plugin. So I think I haven't researched that, but
Oh,
though if
okay.
your website's from WordPress, right?
That's right.
So
Yeah.
there's a plugin for WordPress, and you can then I think where you can run your it will help you run your online course, like the
Very
components, the modules,
interesting.
all that. I don't know, still researching that, but yeah.
Okay. And listen, I think, sweet flaneur.
Hmm. Hello? No. Oh no. Oh,
Oh, there you are.
okay, you
What?
froze. You froze.
Oh,
Okay, so you were saying where you froze
so
was
it's a
sweet
it's a
flaneur.
holistic
What? Okay.
we is a holistic approach to living. So the way I see it, our life encompasses all kinds of things. So you're you, and you need to just, um, not only take care of the people in your life and love the people in your life, but you really need to put yourself first and think about what brings you joy, first
Hmm.
of all, but to also move through life in a mindful way. Move
Hmm.
through life mindfully. And we're talking about this whole choice thing, and
Hmm.
move through life thinking about the direction you want to go in, not just what everybody else is doing and where they want to go, but where do you want to go?
Hmm.
Where do you want to go? And maybe you just want to go to Macy's and walk around.
Right.
You
Right.
know, did I tell you the story about when my boys were younger? Um,
I don't know.
my husband would go off to work, and I would be at home with the boys. And at the time, they were like 3 and
Oh.
just born, 3 and just born,
Hmm.
you know. And so when the whole day with them, one is 3. The other one didn't want to be put down. Jordan did not want to be put down. He had to be held the whole day. So I think somewhere around 6 o'clock, I would sit on the front porch and wait for my husband to come home.
Hmm.
And as soon as he came home, I would hand the children to him,
Hmm.
and I would go to I didn't care where I went. Kmart. There was a Kmart years ago around here. So I would go to
Hmm.
Kmart and just
Okay.
walk around for 2 hours.
Yeah.
Didn't need anything.
Yeah.
Just, but
You needed
those are
some
the
you time. You needed you time. That's what it was. Yeah.
I needed a lot of me time.
Yeah.
So I think that I needed to do more of that as I was home raising the boys. And I didn't do that. I made my world, their world, my world,
Hmm.
you know.
Hmm.
And there's nothing wrong with that, but you have to. Sweet flaneur is about making your world your world.
Hmm.
you
It's
know
definitely a delicate, like a delicate dance, a balance when you, especially when you
Mhm.
have, so I don't have children, but my teaching all these years, my students were like, are like, even now, the ones I had,
Yeah,
they're in the 30s, and some of them, and I'm like, you're still my kids. But
yeah,
uh yeah, I put a lot of my heart and soul into that. So
yeah,
it's a balance. I could get like too
yeah.
involved, overly involved, and uh yeah, you just have to, I don't see how you ladies do it that have families and
Oh
and
boy.
and work on top of that. I have a lot of respect for women.
You know what we do? We forget ourselves. We forgot
Yeah.
ourselves.
Yeah.
We forgot ourselves, and our lives became all about everyone else.
Hmm.
And what I'm saying is, it can be about everyone else, but it has to be mainly about you.
Hmm. I think there's a balance. That'd be
Mhm.
interesting to see how the French do it, or people in other countries, even in Spain. Or I mean, Francophile. So we were talking about this in the last
Mm.
episode. I looked it up. I wanted to know what's the version for Spain, and it's Spain or anything Spanish. It's his. I think I'm saying this right. Hispanophile. So there is a word. Yeah, there is a word
No.
for
Oh
it.
my
Yeah.
goodness. That's
Yeah.
awesome. Hispanophile. Well, I
Hispanophile.
am a true Francophile.
Yeah.
Francophile. It's
So
pronounced Francophile. Francophile. Got to get my
mhm.
French together.
Yeah. But I'm curious how they do it, how they balance it in other countries, the women, family,
Well,
work. They still,
I can tell
focus
you.
on. Oh, okay.
I can tell you they put themselves first.
Mhm.
They come first.
But like
And
in what ways? Like
they're
in
able
specifically, how
to,
do they do it? Do you know?
I, it seems to me like it's a part of them.
Mhm.
Like the balance is in there somehow, where they have themselves, but somehow they're able to be themselves doing everything else that they do and still have themselves. I'm
Mhm.
not sure if I'm
I
explaining that
know.
right, but I think it's an embodiment of who they are. I think I'll have to come back next week and let
All
you
right,
know.
we'll revisit it. I
I'm
feel,
gonna word that.
I just
I'm
act.
gonna word that because I just believe, from what I can tell,
Mhm.
it's a part of them, and they're able to move through life being who they are and still doing what they do without losing themselves.
Mhm.
And you know what?
Hmm.
I'm going to write a course on that.
You could, because I'm sitting here thinking, I mean, I don't mean to give you
I'm going to write a
a
course on
homework
that.
assignment or anything. Sorry about that.
No, no.
But I'm like, okay, what
I,
would be some concrete ways so that I could like exemplify that in my own life? In other words, so I'm like, okay,
Absolutely.
how, and what specific ways is it different? Is it alike and like it is in this country? And I don't know.
Well, not only is that a homework assignment, that is a course.
Yeah, I love that.
I'm
There
going
you
to do
go.
the research. I'm going to do the research and I am going to share what I learn about the French way of moving through life:
Mm-hmm.
home, family, work, business.
No,
I'm going to do the research on
you're
that.
gonna have to take several
But
trips
from
over
what
there.
and that's, listen,
No, I'm saying
listen,
now it's required.
it's not,
You're going to
that's
have to
not,
do research. You're going to have to get over there.
that's
So
not,
you
that's not a problem.
make your plans.
That's not a problem. That's done.
You can go
But from what
tomorrow.
from what I know from, and from what I've learned, and from what I can see, it's an embodiment. There is an air and an embodiment of self with French women in particular.
Mhm.
Um, it's a thing.
Because
So,
I think of like movies, you know, that we love, like Under the Tuscan Sun, and I think
oh
of
yes,
that one lady that was an actress. Remember how the one that was in the fountain and always was eating
yes,
ice
yeah,
cream. See things like that, like
yeah, yeah.
and then in what was that other movie? Oh, Eat, Pray, Love. And when she was in
Oh yeah,
Italy and Le Dolce
yeah.
Vita, the art of doing nothing, the
Wait,
sweetness of doing nothing. So
exactly.
I'm sure the French
Yeah,
have those types of things too. So it'd be
yeah.
yeah, you know,
Okay. Well,
that'd make
yep.
a
I
yeah,
will do the research. It will
make a great
be
course, a great online course.
absolutely. Yeah, yeah. All right.
Well, we are
Cool beans.
yeah, about at an hour. So I want to bring it to a close.
Oh,
So choices, guys, for listeners out there, choices. Think about just maybe a good something to ponder for the next couple of weeks is just even be aware, be
yeah,
mindful about how you were saying earlier. What were you saying? Like this, okay, in this choice, is this who I want to be? Is this going to bring
yeah.
me closer? Is this choice going to
Joy.
bring me closer to joy and to what I
Closer
want in my
to where I
life?
want.
Yeah,
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
just kind of start becoming mindful, more mindful of that. And I say for emotions, to pay attention to, just pay attention to them and think of them as a check engine light, just as indicators.
Hmm.
So if you're really, really happy, or if you're just
Yeah.
laughing and you find, gosh, I've been laughing all day or whatever, let's stop and take a minute and again be mindful about it. And what is that? What's causing
Exactly.
that? Or sadness or just tiredness if it's not something physical. Um, and just be mindful. Don't look at it completely neutral with all neutrality.
Yeah.
Don't judge it or criticize it. Just collect some data about it, and then
Absolutely.
yeah, keep the good and get rid of the anything that you don't like, that you don't want. It's your choice.
Absolutely.
Always your choice.
Choice. Love
Mhm.
that.
All right.
All right.
Well, let's bring this. Have I been showing my bra this whole time? Oh my
No,
God.
you're fine. You're
Sexy.
fine.
No.
Oh gosh.
Who do I think I am?
All right.
Madonna? Am I think I'm Madonna or what? I don't know. Come on.
You're
All right.
beautiful.
Okay.
All
Thank
right.
you. All right. We'll see you guys in a
Bye,
couple
everybody.
weeks.
Bye.
Am I still recording?
I don't know.
I'll edit
It
this
is
out if
recording.
it is. How do you stop? Oh,
Yeah.
stop video maybe. I've got to, I'll
I
edit
guess.
this out, but, oh, here we go.
All right.
I've got to learn where the button is. There,